And this is great looking out here today, seeing all of you coming here to honor our guy there. But as I thank everyone here coming today, the real special thanks goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Why? Well, a trade with the Ravens in '03 gave us the first pick in the '04 draft overall. And of course, with that draft pick, we picked our guy Vince. And actually, I think there's a little karma there that we're playing Baltimore tomorrow, too. So, in the next 11 years after he got drafted, Vince anchored a defensive unit that helped propel the Patriots to 10 division titles, 6 AFC championships, 4 trips to the Super Bowl, and 2 great parades in downtown Boston. You know, there are a lot of really big players who battled in the trenches in the NFL. But few have ever had the combined size, strength, quickness, and overall athletic ability as Vince. As a nose tackle in a 2-gap scheme, Vince's role was to draw double teams in order to free up the linebackers behind him. It was a thankless job, but one in which the likes of Teddy Bruschi and our friend Gerard Mayo, who's here today, we're forever grateful. You know, as you saw in the highlights film, Vince just didn't tackle enemy ball carriers. He steamrolled them. And as much as we enjoyed watching him punish an opposing quarterback, there was nothing for me that was more entertaining than watching opponents trying to tackle Vince when he returned an interception or a fumble. And he might have been a little bigger in those days when he was doing it. So clearly Vince made an immediate impact on the field and left a lasting impression, typically in the chest of his opponents. And that, of course, is the reason we're all here today. But I want to share a more personal anecdote about Vince and the first impression he made upon me. I met Vince right after he was drafted in '04, a big-bodied, fresh-faced, first-round draft choice out of the U. He was only 23, but had an old soul. He was already married and grounded by the unfortunate experience of losing both of his parents 2 years before, David and Barbara. He arrived in my office wearing a black dress shirt with a large gold dress medallion draped around his neck. David and Barbara's wedding photo was on the medallion. Vince said it kept his loved ones close to his heart and gave him strength by wearing it, and he wore it every day. That gesture alone earned Vince a place in the Kraft Family Hall of Fame, and he became one of our all-time favorites. On a game day, when Vince was leaving the field after warm-ups, he saw my beloved Mara and leaned in to give her a kiss on her cheek. In an endearing and yet slightly awkward moment, he gave me one as well. So we won the game that day. And not that I'm superstitious, but that started a new tradition. And when he gave those kisses, he might have been perspiring a little. But Years later, when Myra's health was declining, in 2011, Vince gave me a special gift, a gold medallion with Myra and my wedding picture on it. And you have to understand, I don't wear rings or jewelry of any kind, but I love the sentiment. No player had ever done anything like that for me before. So I put it on and showed Myra at her bedside. She happened to be in intensive care in the hospital in Boston. And she said to me, "You look ridiculous." As usual, she was right, of course. But it kept her close to my heart and gave me strength. And after she passed, I wore it every day for nearly a year. So the first game after Myra's passing, I was an emotional wreck. But Vince sought me out as he left the field after warm-ups. This time he gave me a kiss on each cheek, and he said, "One was for you and the other was for Mama." And it was the start of a tradition that continued prior to every game for the next 4 seasons. I will always be grateful to Vince for doing that. Now, Patriot fans will remember Vince for his big body, even bigger smile, and always making the biggest plays. For a decade of Patriots dominance, no defender played a bigger role, both literally and figuratively, than Vince Wilfork. Vince gave us all many memorable moments in which we could all be thankful. But the greatest came on Thanksgiving against our friends, the Jets. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Years ago, we talked to Tom Moore, then at Indianapolis, the offensive coordinator. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose, and it's alive.
I have never seen this before in my life. Watch this. Vince Wilfork is going to throw Brandon Moore back into his quarterback. He's going to fumble the football. This is what Reggie White used to do to people.
Well, in a word, Wilfork was simply invincible. I'm honored to present Vince with his red jacket, and it's only a matter of time, hopefully, before he gets a gold one, which he truly deserves. It's my pleasure to introduce the 32nd member of the Patriots Hall of Fame, Vince Wilfork.